Welcome to the Portraits Podcast. You're watching the Crystal Pears predictions. The show starts now.
Well, it's time to start the show.
Well, the team selections are in. It's a big game tomorrow night against Carlton. It's at the Adelaide Oval on a Thursday night. It's a blockbuster. All eyes on two teams that are struggling near the bottom of the ladder. Yep, we've got a team that is playing against the coach that was the assistant coach to the senior coach. So there's a lot of connections, and Michael Voss was obviously heavily involved with the Port Adelaide Footy Club with some players that are still playing in our club today. So yeah, there's a connection there, and it's going to be an interesting game because you've got two teams really desperate to try to find something and salvage something out of this season. Obviously, I think finals for the teams are you're potentially out of the question, at least to be in the top four and to be having impact in the finals is well and truly out of the question for probably both teams. However, as Port Adelaide fans, we're looking at the side, and we're seeing team selections with Alir coming in. We're seeing Travis Boat coming in, and they could be obviously playing an important role tomorrow night. But again, is the team playing an important role going to the finals? No. So what are they looking for into this game? The team is looking for individual performances and to continue just working throughout the season. What else are you going to do? I guess you just got to rock up each week and to just put themselves in the best position for next year. I guess until you're totally out of the equation in regards to finals, that's what you got to do. You'll make every effort to be in the top eight, and that's what the team has to do. But there's a lot of individual things that we're looking for at the moment, and I'm looking at other things that in regards to the future of the club beyond this season. So obviously Miles Bergman and Zach Butters come into mind with that. Obviously people like Logan Evans and Hugh Jackson who are coming in, they're important too in regards to how we see the future and who's going to be part of our next successful wave of players going forward. And I know that's where Christian Moraes and other players that are getting out of the side have got to push themselves back in the squad as well. Interesting to note, Ollie Wines again is not playing. It's a bit frustrating for him, but hopefully he can get back in the side in the next couple of weeks with overcoming the injury and with selection, as we can see with the SANFL selections with Lukosius coming back in as well. So that's exciting news as well. And with the omissions, you got Ryan Burton out, as well as Mead and Finlayson and Moraes. So none of them are injured. So there's a bit of a message from the coaches there, and that's a bit of a shame for those players, but also message saying get a better game against Panthers and you might get a look in. But I'd like to see some consistency as well. I'd like to see the team not change so much in the near future. That would be a good sign for the end of the season. But unfortunately, I'm predicting that we're probably going to see chopping and changing. And obviously, with the coaches coming back in, hopefully for the Brisbane game, Ken Hinkley was saying that he'll get a run in the SANFL. There's no SANFL selections for this week. So we've got Jack Lukosius as the known selection in for the SANFL game. So we're playing the Panthers on Saturday. So the teams for that will probably come in the next day or two. So there's no teams for that, but we know Jack's playing. Ken Hinkley has mentioned in his press conference that if Jack Lukosius gets through the SANFL game, he can actually see potential selection for the Brisbane game coming up next week. So that's a good sign as well. All right, the predictions, guys. I'm actually going to be tipping Port Adelaide by 21 to 30 points. So I think we can get over the line, and yeah, that's a good margin as well. As I predict that's going to be the margin for hopefully most of the game, just keeping the Blues at arm's distance. With the predictions on the forward line, I'm going to give Willie Rioli the big tick of the person who I think has probably got the most impact potential for against a Carlton's defence. Will Rioli will hopefully expose them, and so he's my forward for the predictions. So the midfield predictions, highly competitive. Both sides, great midfielders. I think it's going to be a game of the midfield, and the leader of the midfield, hopefully, who just makes the greatest impact, is Willem Drew. I feel like Willem will have a defensive mindset that is highly there for Patrick Cripps and Walsh and Zach Williams and other Carlton players. However, I just also can feel that he could be deadly impactful in getting inside 50s and the way when we've got the ball, he can be a player that will be of greater impact, and that's why I'm giving him my Crystal Pears for the midfield. In the back line, I'm going to give it to Lockie Jones. Crystal Pear's predictions in the back line can be sometimes a bit funny with Ilya coming back. He can be a massive pivotal impact. Yeah, you're looking at Sava. Who else can? There's lots of players in our back line. Now, Ryan Burton's out, so I'm going to say Lockie Jones to step up. Logan Evans obviously comes back in as well with a defensive mindset as well. But I'm going to give it to Lockie Jones as my predictions for the person with the greatest impact in the back line for our game, and someone who really does need to have a big game as well. So I'm going to be keep calling out Lockie Jones until he gets that big break or he's out. All right, for our roughies, I'm actually going to go with giving Cullen a goalless quarter. First quarter, they won't get a goal, or it's the second quarter. If they get a goal or two in the first, I reckon we can get them quiet in the second. They have notoriously been like that. We can also be like that. But for our Crystal Pear predictions for this roughie, I'm going to say, yeah, Port Adelaide can get them goalless for either first or second quarter. It's a roughie, and let's hope it happens. All right, guys, Craig Jones is going to be on Facebook. He's going to be live at the ground on Thursday night, just giving us all the feeling and the vibe of it right there. Uh, he's a ground zero, for the lack of a better word. He is right there at the game. And so tune into our Portress Facebook page with live updates during the game from Craig Jones. All right, guys, that is the Crystal Pear predictions for the big game against Carlton. Game review coming up after this big game on Thursday night. Thanks, guys, for listening and watching. This is Matt Sullivan, and this is the Crystal Pear predictions on the Portress podcast. Until the next time, go the power.